Hello, my name is Nneka Nwobi and trust that you're well. Today I'm going to speak to you about persevering in the face of a hard economy. No doubt you may be experiencing challenges in the wake of all that has happened in the past couple of months. And for those who are listening to it much later, we've had this coronavirus pandemic and nations are now easing the lockdown that has happened in the past 3 months or so. And so there are challenges, and not just even challenges, also emotions. So entrepreneurs are obviously feeling the heat, some of them. Some businesses have started to thrive, especially in the essential services. And so what it calls for, in my opinion, is really perseverance. And that's why I like the quote that says that great works are performed not by strength, but by perseverance. So perseverance is about pushing through. It's about doing something every day, despite the difficulty, regardless if you are not seeing immediate success. But it's just being focused, whatever the challenges are coming across you. And right now, we may be experiencing some challenges, but then it's having that spirit of perseverance. And I did some research, and two of the ways that entrepreneurial leaders who have actually pushed through and made a success of their business and even made a success of themselves is one, acceptance and awareness that things have changed. One can begin to wallow in pity or that things are not going well and kind of still looking at 4 months ago when all these things started and not doing anything about it and dwelling in that. And if we're not careful in terms of dwelling in that, then you're not able to move forward. I've decided to just move past it, and that is what it means by accepting and having the awareness that really things have changed. This is the new normal. And so it's looking at, okay, what can you do in this new normal? And we can actually liken it to the 7 stages of grief, where the first is about shock and denial. And initially it was about what's going on and the denial that this is really one's reality, that really nations had total shutdown. I mean, think about the UK, think about Italy and what has happened. Who could have imagined that cities in Europe, in America, experience full shutdown? Well, but that is reality. So it's actually accepting that. The second is pain and guilt, particularly in those businesses that have been really, really affected, like restaurants, for example. Then anger and bargaining, is this really true? What can I do? Particularly if you have mounting bills and you just don't know where to start from. And so there's just that anger. But you have to move past that to reflecting. And it's by reflecting and saying, okay, what can I do with this, my new reality? Having known that it's really outside of your control and you have to not just survive, but thrive. And so the next step after reflection is kind of what we call reconstruction and walking through the problem. Thinking through, and that comes from reflecting, thinking through, okay, what can I do with what I have? What do I need to do to shift? And by the way, if you're not a member of the African Entrepreneurs Forum, I encourage you to do so. Last week I had an amazing guest. So usually I interview very successful entrepreneurs and experts, and we talk about different business-related issues for entrepreneurs. And this last one, my guest was Nwamaka Okoye, where she talked about how to pivot successfully. She is a manufacturer of furniture and has an interior design company, but she's pivoted to, guess what? Surface sanitizers. I mean, who would imagine that? And so she has been able to use the challenges and pivoted into another business. So in that time with her, I was able to ask her questions on how she was able to pivot successfully. So I strongly encourage you to subscribe and be a part of that. And you have access to this interview with her, as well as other very insightful interviews that I've had. By the way, let me get back to what I was talking about. So I was talking about the 7 stages of grief, and I talked about walking through the problems. And that's why I talked about Nwamaka sharing about how she was able to pivot her business. You may have to pivot your business. And then last but not the least is acceptance. acceptance that things have really changed. And when you accept that, you own it. And as a result of that, you're able to now make quicker decisions. It prevents you from second-guessing yourself and also prevents you from procrastination, because procrastinating is when you think the issue is just so big and you don't even know where to start and you keep postponing that. So that's what I'll encourage you to do. Accept and become aware that things have changed and say, how am I going to thrive in this environment? And the second way that successful entrepreneurs are actually responding to this situation is to remain positive. I mean, I cannot understate this statement of remaining positive. You know, the outlook you have will affect your actions. It's like kind of looking at the glass half full, right? We are alive, we are healthy. If you're watching this, you're not likely in the hospital, right? So it's to remain positive and say, okay, what am I going to do with this situation? And an example I related to was a restaurant owner. You can imagine a restaurant owner who's been very successful in the city, and she had to close based on regulations. And so she wasn't able to serve. And then her place was really a meeting point because ambience was really lovely. So she had a lot of guests just coming in to just hang out. Of course, the initial was shock because she has a loan. What's she going to do? How is she going to feed her family? But the way she went about it was that she got a coach and talked through the different options that were available to her. And so when she processed this, she was able to now make the decision that instead of reacting, I'm going to respond. And so immediately, she more or less pivoted her business. She started doing home deliveries. And now a new line of business has been birthed. And so when her restaurant is finally open, she will now have 2 streams of income. Home delivery, which was not thinking about, to now the full restaurant. So it was by her remaining positive, or by her making the choice that, look, I'm going to remain positive. Once in my life, there is hope, right? So we're going to move past this and we're going to keep moving and we're going to persevere and we're going to be successful in all endeavors of our business. I also have something to share with you. I've put together a free ebook on the 5 habits of highly successful entrepreneurs, and I'd like you to have that. It's 5 nuggets and also questions for reflection of how you can begin to pivot, or how you can look at your business and how you can take it to the next level, especially at this time. So click below, send me your details, and I will immediately send you that ebook. And I also like to get your comment. If you found what I've shared with you helpful, tag a friend. Share this knowledge with someone else. I'm sure it will also benefit them. So while working towards building your successful business and life, endeavor to also make it one of significance. Have a good day.